How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with our Philadelphia Flyers franchise mode here in episode number 4 in the playoffs of season number 1. And before we get started, guys, it is officially Movember. As you can probably guess, I am participating in supporting the Movember Foundation. I'll be growing my mustache all year long, and I'm going to help change the face of men's health. And if you would like to help, there is a link in the description to donate to the Movember Foundation. It's a great foundation, and I think it's a great cause. So it's a big month for me. I'm a big Stand Up to Cancer guy and a big Movember guy. And now it's November 2nd as of recording this episode. So hopefully you guys can join in on the action and just help spread awareness if you can't donate. But here we go. We are in the playoffs against, well, a pretty dominant Tampa Bay Lightning team. And if those of you that are new to the channel aren't aware how we do the playoffs, I do them all in one go. We'll see how far we can get, but we're not going to stop until we get eliminated. I'm going to preview the team each time. And holy smokes, the Tampa Bay Lightning are basically every game winning by 1 goal on average. That's absurd. That's a ridiculous amount of goals per game, a goal differential per game. Plus, they got 116 points, 56, 22, and 4, 47 regulation wins, 70% point percentage. I believe, yeah, they were the best team in the entire NHL by a wide margin. So let's see what got them there. How did they, what lines, what did they do? Did they make any trades? We'll see. But I don't like our chances in this one. Not at all. Tampa Bay. Hagel, Stamkos, Point. That's absurd with those X factors. Kaloran, Cirelli, Perry, Nemesnikov, Colton, Paul, and then Maroon, Bellemare, Eakin. So a solid team, not one that's overly intimidating. I mean, obviously Stamkos and Point are ridiculous players, but do they have anybody injured right now? Oh, Kucherov, yeah, of course, duh. Nikita Kucherov is injured. We'll have to see what his injury status is. I wonder if we can. But that's huge. Him being out for a little while could really, really help us in this series. They've got Hedman and Chernak, Sergachev and Foote, and Cole and Bogosian on the back end. So it's a really good defensive core. I mean, obviously, Hedman is the mainstay here on the blue line. And then in goal, obviously, the best goaltender in the NHL, Andrei Vasilevskiy. Insane with his X factors and everything. How did he play this season? 919 and a 244. That's darn good. They obviously have an advantage over us when it comes to that. But let's take a look at what the injury is for Kucherov, and he's returning April 23rd, so in a week. He may be able to come back early with a sore shoulder, but he's out for another 8 days, it looks like. And that should benefit us quite a bit. Taking a look at what lines we are rocking with going into this series is Farabee, Konechny, and Couturier. Atkinson, Frost, and Nyquist, Cates, Hayes, and Tippett, and Allison, Paling, and Boyd. Paling up to an 80 overall, things you love to see. On the back end, Provorov, Ellis, Sanheim, D'Angelo, and Cam York with Rasmus Ristolainen. And in goal is Carter Hart, who did not have as good of a season as Andrei Vasilevskiy, but could eventually become Andrei Vasilevskiy. I really hope so. I wish you could grow into X Factors. That'd be pretty cool. But we are going to slow sim every game. We're going to jump in there and simulate out through each period. And only in elimination games, I think I'm going to slow roll the third. So we're going to jump into this one. Simulate, yes, both. That's fine. And here we go against Tampa. First period of the playoffs. First time in this franchise mode of 23 that we're in the playoffs. First period, we have an early lead, and it is Frost scoring on Vasilevskiy. Tampa Bay outshot us, but we end the period up 1-0. After the second, we still maintain that advantage. It's a tie. Hagel, who's stepping in for Kucherov, scores, but Couturier gets one back for our first line. The third period, Frost is going to get the empty netter with just a second left. A little insult injury there. We come out of this with a 3-1 win. Goals by Frost, Couturier, and Frost, and well as Hagel getting one for Tampa Bay. Shots were even, so a very, very interesting first game here. +2 for Frost, 2 goals. Love to see it. Ryan Ellis with 2 points, +1. I will absolutely, without a doubt, take this. An early game 1 win. And we stole one on the road. That's huge. Stealing one on the road is massive. It's what we got to do. And now if we just only win home games, we're on to the next round against the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 2 on the road again. First period. It's 1-1. Frost is hot. Frost, despite his name, is red hot. But Alex Killorn scores, and Tampa Bay ties it there just a couple minutes later. Shots are just about even after one. Second period sees us take the lead in shots, but neither team take the lead on the scoreboard. Third period sees us pumping goals after Corey Perry scores 21 seconds into the period. Cam Atkinson, Tony DeAngelo, and Cam York, the Cams, stepping up there in the third period. The insurance marker from Cam York, definitely necessary. DeAngelo, though, and Cam York, the defenseman, stepping in huge. And we have just taken both games on the road with Frost getting 3 points in this one as well as the first goal of the game. So we have now taken a 2-0 series lead over the number 1 Tampa Bay Lightning. We're on home ice. Hopefully we can get to 3-0. That would be insane. I expected to get, beaten, if not swept in this series. And yet here we are, up 2-0. First period, and Tampa Bay strikes back hard with Stamkos and Killorn getting a 2-0 lead in the first period. Second period, Rasmus Ristolainen sees us pull back to within 1. Can we complete the comeback in the third? We do, and it's Ryan Poehling, the fourth line waiver claim, and the shots are even. And it is 2-2, and we will slow roll the overtime period. We get a power play in overtime. We cannot convert. You got to convert on a power play in overtime. Are you kidding me? All right, halfway through the overtime period, shots are just about even, but it is Joel Farabee getting us an overtime winner in game number 3, and we have now taken a 3-0 series lead. And Rasmus Ristolainen, I dogged him. I've dogged this dude. He is a machine offensively. 3 points there in less than 16 minutes from the blue line, and you love to see it, and you love to see us being up 3-0 in the series. Holy smokes. Game number 4, can we move on to the next round? Don't want to say the S word, but here we go. First period, it's 1-0 again. Braden Point shows up, and this time it's on the power play. Shots are heavily in our favor, though. I like that, even though they scored on the power play. Second period, sees us score. Couturier gets a power play goal of our own. Poehling and Tippett chipping in the bottom 6, looking good. And in the third period, we're going to go ahead and slow roll this one a little bit. We'll see how it goes. If we get another goal here on the power play, I will quick sim the rest of the period. We do. It's Sean Couturier. We score a 5th with 2.5 to go, and we have swept the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow, 116 points, averaging each game as a 1 goal. That's crazy. Every game they play, goal per game. They're 1 more goal than their opponent on average. That's insane, and we just absolutely bodied them. A strong win in game number 1 with a 3-1 win there. 4-2, those 2 games on the road, carried by Morgan Frost. Coming home, and we get the overtime winner from, I believe, Farabee. And then a solid, comprehensive 5-1 win there. And holy smokes, we have just swept the President's Trophy winning team in the first round. Wow, that is insane. Who will be our opponent in round number 2? It's going to be Boston. It's going to be Toronto. Who's it going to be? It's Boston in round number 2. And we just have to wait for the Devils and Carolina game to finish. Who's going to come out on top there? It's going to be the New Jersey Devils, but we are taking on the Boston Bruins, who have a very, very similar record to us. Taking a look at how they finished in the regular season, taking a look at the Eastern Conference. Well, the Boston Bruins are 8th there, right with us, 1 point behind us. As far as goals per game, they had a positive goal differential per game. Just about 3 goals per game, 4. I mean, we're pretty competitive, pretty tight teams. How did they do in the playoffs, though? In their first round matchup, they went 4-2, scoring 3.33 per game, allowing 2.83. As far as goals per game, we got to be up, 3.75 and 1.5 against. An absolute monstrous showing from Carter Hart in the first round. They took down the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6, as we saw there. They winning the series 4-2, and oh man, the boogeyman for Toronto continues to rear its ugly head. But here we go. Game number 1, we have home ice advantage. Probably the only team we'll have home ice advantage against this entire playoff this entire playoff run. Actually, I wasn't expecting to go very far, but hey, keep your expectations low and you can never get disappointed, I guess. Let's take a look at their lines before we jump into game number 1. Do they have any major injuries? And speaking of major injuries, we might have gotten lucky with the Kucherov injury there. But their first line seems to be intact with all those superstar abilities and X factors of Marchand, Pastrnak, Bergeron, scoring point per game basically for Brad Marchand. But then it starts to fall off. DeBrusk, Coyle, Smith, Foligno, Zacha, Krejci. Taylor Hall on the fourth line, really. That's surprising to me. With Travis Frederick and Thomas Nosek. Interesting that Taylor Hall is down there, but pretty weak second line, if I do have to say so myself. Not like we've got a much better line, but hey. Lindholm and McAvoy is their top pairing with Grzelcyk and Carlo, and Forbort and Stroman. A really good defensive core again. In goal this time, though, is Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. Ullmark's getting the start over Swayman, who's got X-Factor abilities? I don't know about that. And scratch is Clifton and Mike Riley. So, solid team. This is not going to be an easy one, but I'm not going to change anything about these lines, and we are going to roll with it here. And let's get into it here. Game number 1 of the second round of the playoffs. Let's go. Simulate the first game. Come on. Whew. All right. First period, down 2-0 with Carlo and Pastrnak getting the early goals. Second period, nobody scoring there. Shots are even, though it's a tight one. Boston's just been clinical. Third period, oh my God, get absolutely dumped on. It's 4-0 before we're able to break through Ullmark, and then Taylor Hall on the fourth line scores in a 5-1 loss there to the Bruins in game 1. Might be setting the tone for this series. Not what you want to see there, but game number 2, perfect opportunity to bounce back. Boston stole one on the road. Can we avoid getting swept on home ice in these first 2 games? First period. All right, we do get a goal early this time. Patrice Bergeron scores. 10 minutes later, Ellis equalizes. Second period. All right. A Zacha and Marchand goal with Cam Atkinson scoring on Ullmark. I think we might have caught Tampa without their best player, and it's not looking good so far. Third period. Oh my goodness. Absolutely getting dominated. And what line is the one that's getting... Sanheim and D'Angelo is not looking good. Allison not looking good either. Obviously, being a fourth line guy, I'm not all that concerned by it. But we may want to make a line change or two. We'll take a look at what lines may not be gelling. The first line hasn't been too phenomenal, I have to say. Gustav Nyquist, a +2. He's got 5 assists. I think I may want to move him up then. Get the +3 there. Farabee moves down to the second line. Cam Atkinson gets to move back to the right wing. Defensively, Provorov, Ellis. I'm going to move Travis Sanheim up, flip-flop him with Provorov. Provorov is a -1. Ellis is a +2. You know, everybody else is looking okay. So those are the 2 changes I'm going to make to the lines. Just kind of shuffle the deck a bit, see if we can get something clicking, because in this game, back-to-back 5-goal losses is not what you want to see. We do have a chance, though, to pull back into the series here on the road. I know it's not going to be easy at TD Garden, but we have an opportunity to keep ourselves in this series. This game this is a must-win game, without a doubt. First period, we get a goal. Couturier on the power play. You love to see it. Boston not scoring in a period, I think, for the first time all series. Second period, we keep Boston quiet for another period, but oh my God, they have quite the shot advantage. Third period, and give Carter Hart credit for that shutout. 3 power play goals, a goal from Provorov, and we get a 4-0 shutout victory and announce to Boston that we are not going to go quietly. We are going to put up a fight. All right, game 4. Can we tie the series on the road? The road team has won every game so far. Let's see if we can keep that streak alive, at least for one more game. First period. All right, 1-1. Cates scoring his first career playoff goal, I'm going to assume. But Patrice Bergeron, man, that first line is deadly. Second period. All right, it's another Patrice Bergeron answer. This time it's Cam Atkinson scoring for us. And it is 2-2 in a very, very big game. Shots are even. Third period, and it's going to be a Patrice Bergeron hat trick, scoring a goal in every period as Boston takes a 3-1 series lead, and I can't really complain about that, guys. That's just it's a single-handed effort from Patrice Bergeron to get Boston that win. We played well. We really shut down everybody but Bergeron. But when he scores a hat trick, there's not much you can do about that. potentially our last game in the playoffs. We got to go for it. We really do have to go for it here. Down 3-1 in the series on home ice with a chance to force it to game 6. Can we do it? First period. Not starting. Patrice Bergeron scores for 4 consecutive period. Patrice Bergeron's going off. He is going to propel Boston to maybe the Eastern Conference Finals. Not if we have anything to say about Carter Hart. I'm calling on you. Second period. All right. Well, Carter Hart did his job. I called on Carter Hart. He did his job. We're down 1-0 still, though. We're going to jump into this third period and slow sim as we give Boston a power play. A long one at that. But we are able to kill it. Thank you, Carter Hart. Oh, guys, come on. We got a 5-on-3 now. If we able to kill this, come on. Oh, my God. We are able to somehow get through that. And Carter Hart, I called him out. Let's see Farabee. Let's see Couturier. Let's get our stars going. A power play chance to tie it. Can we tie the game on the power play? We cannot. Neither team's power play is working, and time is trickling away. With just 5 minutes left in the third period. 4 minutes now. 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. 1.5 to go. Just a minute to go. And a 1-0 loss. Linus Ullmark shuts us out. And he makes 33 saves. It was Ullmark. And a 1-0 loss. The offense just couldn't get it done. But guys, I think we really do have a bright future. I like the way that I saw Frost show up in pretty much every game, racking up points. That bodes really, really well for him. He's only 23 at medium top 6. Couturier showed up. Konechny didn't show up scoring goals, but he did really assist. Nyquist got 6 assists, so we got 1 assist after we bumped him up to the first line. Obviously, we got shut out there. Cam Atkinson was solid, guys. I think we just need a little bit more. The third line was really poor. Kevin Hayes was really poor, but I'm glad I put him on the third line, and maybe that's something we look to do going forward, right? We'll keep him on the third line, keep Frost on the second line, a little bit more offense there. But that's all she wrote for our playoff run. We sweep Tampa Bay, lose 4-1 to Boston, and go out 1-0 in the final game. And I think that was on home ice. And the Washington Capitals have won the Stanley Cup. Providence Bruins win the Calder Cup as well. But here we go, the draft lottery results. San Jose moves from 3-1, Buffalo from 6-2. And we are not. Oh, I think Nashville did make the playoffs. I don't know how far they went, but I was trying to see potentially if they maybe missed the playoffs or where they finished. But Joe Thornton, Louis Harrison, Shea Weber, Kessler, Nielsen, Como, Helm, Frolik. Wow, a lot of big names this year. Obviously, it's early, but Carey Price retires. Ben Bishop and Mike Smith all retire. Please stop. Please go to view draft class. There we go. All right. Oh, God, we're at the draft. Oh, no, we're at the draft interviews. Phew. Okay. I did want to just look at our draft board and look at where we're picking. Projected picks. Pick number 16 and pick number 25. We don't have a second, but we do have 2/3. So let's take a little preview here. I know it's the end of the episode, but we got pick 17. There's a medium elite right wing, Kasper Halttunen. He's 2 years away, got behind the net as his line strategy could be good. There's Jim Eddy, the Polish player in Russia, 3 years away, looks very good as well, but we also have a pick at 25. We know Leo Carlsson for sure has X Factor. Well, we're not sure he's got X Factors, but we know he's 2 years away, and he's a medium top 6. We could take a chance on some medium elites. Do we know Luca Pinelli could be interesting, looks like a solid player. Do we know any late round gems as far as elites are concerned? There's Galiev here in the 20s, 2-bar medium elite. Don't trust it. Eddie obviously is the guy to go after. Maybe we want to move up just a couple picks to make sure we get a guy like Jim Eddy, the 6'4" player. What player type is he? 6'4" two-way forward with medium elite potential. We could also try and go up and get Halttunen, who is an A- shot. He's 6'3" sniper, plays like Eric Stahl. I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe we go up and try and get Kasper Halttunen. So a lot of options there. But that's all the time I have for this one, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all, but what we fall. It's a free for all,